Check this out, guys. Enrique Martin Morales, MM, which gives you, of course, MI6, born December 24th, 1979. So, this is December is the 12th, 24 is double 12, and this is 9. So as we know, Martin is a coded name for these worshippers, god of war, god of thunder, and their spouse or counterpart, Mother Earth or Skull and Bones. So Martin Morales MM, the same initials which point to him being a Freemason and MI6 lab creature. Known professionally as Ricky Martin, is a Puerto Rican singer, songwriter, and actor. He is known for his musical versatility, as his discography spans multiple genres, including Latin pop, pop dance, reggaeton, and salsa. Dubbed the king of Latin pop, the king of Latin music, and Latin pop god, he is regarded as one of the most influential artists in the world. Born in San Juan, Martin began appearing in television commercials, at the age of 9. And music career at the age of 12. So 9 corresponds to that Perun god, god of thunder, god of war, Menudo. So Ricky Martin. So Martin means Mars, god of war. Ricky, Dick, Richard. So this means phallus of god of war. That's what his coded name means. And double check the bow tie, symbol of MI6, which evokes automatic obedience in MK Ultra victims. And Gabriela Sabatini, tennis player. God damn it. Martin Music Lab comes from the lab. So he had somebody named Sabatini, and then he fell in love with a man. Marty's mother put him. Yeah, right. And then he came out, wasn't living life to the fullest. In August 2008, Martin became a father to twin boys named Matteo and Valentina, born via gestational surrogacy. That's how it's called now. He explained that he chose surrogacy to become a parent for being intriguing and faster than adoption, which was complicated and could take a long time. In March 2010, Martin publicly came out as gay via a message on his website stating, "I'm proud to say that I'm a fortunate homosexual man. I'm very blessed to be who I am." So anyways, sexuality is one complicated thing. It's not black and white. It's filled with colors. So anyways, he was in a human rights campaign, and he bought himself 4 children with surrogacy. Okay? With his gay husband, they bought themselves 4 children via surrogacy, 1 little girl and 2 boys. And he worked with those charity campaigns, that are famous for. And he comes from Catholic background. In March 2001, Martin purchased 7,000 square foot house at Miami Beach in Los Angeles and a Golden Beach mansion, a New York City condominium, Sydney house, Beverly Hills house. So don't worry, guys. But on July the 2nd, 2022, that's very recent, Puerto Rican authorities issued a restraining order against Martin. Police state that the petitioner, whose identity is undisclosed under the Puerto Rican domestic violence law, had gone to court to issue a complaint against Martin. The police revealed from a court document that Martin did not accept the terms of their separation from the petitioner's side 2 months ago and was seen loitering around his residence, as well as calling him frequently. Police also cited that the petitioner did not file a police report and went straight to court to make the allegations. Martin and his representatives deny the allegation and say that the restraining order was issued based on allegations that are totally false. The matter is ongoing and will have a hearing scheduled for the issue of July 21st. July is the 7 months, 21st 777. According to a Puerto Rican newspaper. On July 15th, it was reported that the petitioner was Martin's 21-year-old nephew, Denise Yediel Sanchez. If convicted, Martin will face up to 50 years in prison due to the involvement in incest. Martin's lawyer, Marty Zinger, stated that unfortunately the person who made this claim is struggling with deep mental health challenges and said of the claim that the idea is not only untrue, it is disgusting. Martin's brother, Eric Martin, uploaded a video in Spanish to social media defending Martin, in which he said that his nephew is struggling with mental health issues and is estranged from the family. So you see, guys, what they do. And this one bought himself 4 children. The one who accused of incest bought himself 4 children via surrogacy. See these little boys? Basman court in Moscow in absentee arrested a surrogate mother from Ukraine on case of children trade. The woman is accused is given an international search warrant. This is what TASS reports with a press release of the court. According to the case, Irina Kogut gave birth to 3 children and sold them to the customer from Philippines. Before that, REN TV was searching for Irina Kogut in Ukraine and talked to her. According to the case, she became surrogate mother several times through agency Rose Juris Consulting. And her interview was in the film called Investigation on Children for Sale. There was another criminal case in January after one of the apartments in a village. It was discovered there were several infants there, and one newborn was dead. The babies were born via surrogacy. Among those who were arrested were midwives, gynecologists, medical doctors, urologists, translators, the general direction of the Center for Surrogacy. 7 people were arrested and placed on house arrest. So anyways, what I wanted to say that when back in the 2012, I forgot why it was, when Ukrainians had this Orange Revolution, I was outraged at them chanting at their square that Ukraine is not Russia, Ukraine is not Russia, and they were chanting different profanities about Russians. Well, I would understand them if they just didn't want to be under rule of Russian authority, Russian government, and Russian laws anymore. I have to say that during the times of USSR, the Soviet Union, a lot of money went to the Ukraine, so it was not really beneficial, profitable to sustain and to keep all these republics, because they required a lot of investment from the center. So in any case, Soviet Union built their universities, hospitals, scientific institutions, all kinds of things for them, including even this so-called space. And ports and airplane construction facilities. They developed agricultural science and other similar to that effect. The only thing that Ukrainians remember from this were that year when they had bad harvest, and they said that it was intentional by Russians to organize this genocide of Ukrainians, what they call Golodomor. So this was all on purpose, although Russian regions also starved at that time. So anyways, I was appalled when they said that they actually had something against us, Russian people, not against our government, because I don't like our government as well. They seem to specifically chant against Russians. So I decided to not pay attention to this, and when they had this Orange Revolution back then, although it was said that Ukraine will never become independent, they will just go under the rule of United States, while Ukrainians just wanted to be part of the European Union because they are rich, etc. So, in any case, I thought, why not? Even if it's true what they say, here in Russia they will go under rule of United States, etc., etc. Why not? They try. Maybe they will start to live better. And, if they live better, we will see how it goes under US rules. So they have been under our rule. Why don't US support them now? So that's what I thought. But I thought that finally Ukrainians would stop working prostitutes around the world, because when they work as prostitutes around the world, they pretend to be Russians for some reason. And this is the way that they just slander our names and just blacken us in every possible manner. So I thought that if they will be rich, they stop selling themselves, because that's how I see the prostitution is, I apologize if there are sex workers here who work for pleasure or whatever, but I see this as a prostitution. So I thought, thank God they would stop being such an embarrassment, and if they get rich. So no, they didn't stop selling themselves. They didn't stop selling themselves under the US rule at all. They started to sell their children via surrogacy, and Ukraine became the #1 country of surrogacy, which in my opinion is just a slave trade. It's shameless, it should be banned, and they try to buy women's eggs because they would grow, for example, sperm cells. Like if an old man joins him sperm with a sperm cell and they grow some kind of an embryo, a fetus, if they manage to grow some kind of spinal cord, etc. in the lab, which they possibly can do, this will be the sperm cells for them to treat themselves with, to rejuvenate themselves, to heal their diseases, because this will be their own cells, their own donor from the fetus or part of the fetus. That's why they need these abortions left over. They need abortions to go on for this. So I see that Republican Party is trying to ban the abortions in the United States, but I see that Republican Party has been taken over by the evil cabal as well. So what I see is that many women, when they realize there is awakening going on around the world, so when they realize, and it will not be able to hide it anymore, that they are pregnant with a child from one of these so-called, quote, blue bloodlines, who are part of the bloodlines who have been plundering, stealing, exploiting people. So if you have a child with such a creature from this aristocracy of Europe, then your whole family tree, all your relatives will be cursed for the generations ahead. It will just attract misfortunes. So when woman realizes these implications, it would be easy for her to make an abortion, because she will just curse all her family trees, all her remote relatives, all her the relatives she doesn't even know about around the world through the blood, because their blood will be contaminated with this thing if she joins with this creature from these benefit balconies. Anyways, so Ukrainians, after they became subjected to the rule of United States, they haven't stopped selling themselves like I had hoped. They started to sell themselves and to sell their babies, plus to these, into so-called surrogacy contracts. And where these babies end up, they have no idea. Ultimately, they either become prey to pedophiles or organ donors or whatever. This is how I see it. Sorry guys, I feel like this should be banned altogether. That's it. And another thought I wanted to say that this. So also, the first thing that happened when Ukraine became independent and it started to restructure itself economically and legally, they had, as I see it, as I noticed it from Russia, they banned universal medical health care, like it is in the United States. Like, the worst thing about the United States is this absence of universal health care, in my opinion. So Ukrainian people, in majority of them, they cannot afford this expensive health care, okay? So they were deprived of this universal health care. Even their health minister was called Dr. Death, because she put all these laws in place, which was anti-human, in my opinion. So yeah, it kind of, they ruined the healthcare for Ukrainians, which kind of sucks. Yeah, so I'm really disappointed with all of this. United States, the labs, etc. I wonder how many free hospitals they could have built in the United States on this money that they built, these labs that they had here in Ukraine, over 40.